What better way to express, you know, how to open your mind up to playing the piano and playing songs, your favorite songs on piano in new different ways, bro. Let's not play the piano so regular. Let's get more expressive. We're gonna take a look at Bridgerton. Let's go see how this show does it. Like, how do you have a period piece that is based in the period of like what, 1800s? Like, you're playing Rolling Stones and all this other stuff and The Weeknd and all these Taylor Swift and all this and Alicia Keys. Like, what? Why? It's the thought process here. We're trying to figure it out. What are we doing? What made them do that? I don't know, but it's dope, isn't it? And it's exactly what we try to get across our minds when it comes to this masterclass. We want to play with some feeling. We want to play with a vibe. We can play a song, but why just play it? We can go listen to the song how it's supposed to be played or heard, bro. Let's take it to another level. I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the songs I really want to look at that I noticed that they did is Alicia Keys. If I Ain't Got You. They did that. Let's take a look, because I really liked what they did in the beginning. I want you to really pay attention. I want you to pay attention to the bass notes like we do. Doom, the first notes that you hear. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Look, does that sound like the song? Does that sound like Alicia Keys? They got a lot going on in that. And the crazy part about it is taking a deeper look in the real song. You start off on a C. So this is where you start off. And they go into this part. She's gonna give it a thing to come in. But that's not what they did here. You don't hear. Instead, what you heard is that they started on the A. They started down here, which you get there at some point. You start off right here. They started at the bottom, okay? So what you heard is they're going up. That's what you heard. And I think that is an interesting take. You know what it tells me? One of the things that I can do is rearrange chords of the song that I know to give it a little bit something different. Even if you want to do this on the intro. E, E flat, D, E flat, D, E flat, D, ending on the F. That's the bass. That's the reason I always follow bass notes, bro. I always will follow. That's the reason I always will follow bass notes, because it can guide you. Then they went into, and I think that is just genius. It lets you know, hey, take them chords and rearrange them. I'm a performance pianist. That's how I teach you. Before you even go into what you're doing, try having a cool little intro and try rearranging what you normally would do. Instead of staying here and then going here and then going here and then going here, instead of just doing this, heck, you could even start at the G. They started at the A. I like that. But you can start at the G if you want. Back to C. And now you're on the C. Right? And now you can just, even something like that can change your playing. Even something like that. All right, let's take a look at this next scene from Bridgerton. This is Kate and Anthony's dance scene. Okay. They had Wrecking Ball. They did an orchestral rendition of Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. Let's see if you can pick it up. Are you catching that? You hearing this? I love accent notes. Besides like a certain instrument giving a certain tone, like strings are gonna give a different tone, a different vibe, then a piano is gonna give, all of them have different type of styles and feel. It already takes like a song to another level. Like, I mean, if we're used to hearing like a studio version of a song and then you hear it, you know, acoustically, especially with orchestral type instruments, your ear is like, wow, that sounds, And with strings, it immediately makes it sound elegant and stuff, and played the right way with piano, same thing. But it's the little accents that they did not have to, they could have just played it regular. The melody comes in, that comes in regular, but I'm listening to the simulating the studio version. But that is a great touch to keep in mind when you're playing a song too. So let's see. Even something like that can add like a feeling to your playing. Or if you just, let's see what's another, just a little accent, adding it, just that little, adds a little bit of a rhythm. I feel like that's why it's really important to be able to play chords in your left hand. Practice that. Practice playing chords in your left hand. That way you can do stuff like that. Like, because I might just be taking a chord and I might hit the A and a D minor. Then when I get to the F, I might hit the C and an F major. Just the third note in the triad that I'm using. I usually will just do that, arpeggiate a little bit. But if I can't do that, one note. And if you want to make it even more dramatic, and then go. Just find your bops. Just and that's something that always pops up in my head. I'm always thinking about like playing piano as an orchestra. So I'm always like, we got all the notes that you need for a whole orchestra. It's all right here. This is an 88 key thing right here. Let me put this down real quick. Need you to see this. All 88 keys. You feel me? All 88 keys. Why not use it like an orchestra, right? So I might be up here. What's the next one? Almost simulate when a string does like that. Add those little bops in there. Okay, let's pay attention to this dancing right here. specifically to the music. Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me. They're playing, I want to say, backing vocals, and they're playing other accents of the instrumental, not just the meat of it. They're playing da-da-dun, da-da-dun. They're playing like other stuff that has nothing to necessarily do. Now, the cool thing about piano is you can kind of do that. They might need a whole quartet. They might need another person hitting this part, another person hitting this part. With the piano, we can kind of simulate that. That's what I love about piano, that you can simulate this. So let's look at this real quick. I'm hearing the bass, and I'm hearing, dude. You hearing it? Dun, 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 dun. Someone's up here. They're doing there's like a string is doing extra stuff. That's what I be talking about playing. That's why I love the sustain pedal. If you see me doing a lot of extra stuff, that's what I'm simulating. That's what I'm simulating. I want you to understand that. So like, instead of playing it like this, right? My bad. If you get the point. Or there's so many other ways to do it, dude. I would come in close to the chord because we have a G major. This is a G major. So what if you came in closer and you played the G and just played the BD with your right hand? Okay, and this is just one note here, and then you come down. Now you're playing a BDG in your right hand and a G right here, and you can just at some point come out of the melody and play that. But I love playing with my left hand, dude. I do, and I'll show you why. Because I might start up here in this area, the higher register, and do. Look at what I'm doing in my left hand. All I need is this, and maybe the fifth. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might just need this. It's all you really need for the bass is this. But what if I want to have all of this? And then you gotta go to here. All you need is this. All you need is a D. But I'm trying to get the whole chord. I could just do the A, but I want to wait. And I might hit this B, which is gonna simulate a C major 7, but I don't have to technically play the C major 7, but I can hit the notes in it. And that's what I would do. You see, I messed up. But if I would have kept going, you wouldn't have been able to tell because I would have just ran with it. But that's what I'm talking about. It's the extra stuff. And the best way to practice this is just practicing with your left hand, dude. And getting used to this. With the sustain, we use the sustain pedal. Make it sing down here. You don't have to be too hard. Because it frees up this hand for the melody. And now you don't have to have like 3-string quartet, because what one person would be doing this, and then the other people would be doing all the. See the bass down here, and everybody else will be doing all the extra stuff, right? And then somebody else would be having to be doing the melody of the vocal. Instead, you can simulate that. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm telling you, bro. You open up your hands, bro. It can get it. You can simulate this stuff, and that's my approach. I'm always thinking very orchestral, bro. Different voices, bro. I'm always thinking like a composer. Always when I'm playing these songs. That's the only way I like to play. Put it like that. On the soundtrack of Bridgerton, they have Diamonds by Rihanna, and what you'll hear clearly all the little. Listen. But that's not it. They have something else coming up. It's a lot happening to create this. It's so beautiful. And then watch this. Watch when it goes into the part. This is the other thing I'll be talking about. Where it's doing all of this, it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. It could just. So it decides to staccato it out. It's deciding to do more staccato little pops. It could have just. It could have been more melodic. These are the choices. You can play a song any way you want. That's the cool part. Expressive. And that's what I love about Bridgerton. And the music choices and the approach. I think it's Chris Bowers. I forgot his name, but amazing composer, brilliant mind, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. But this is the part I was talking about. It's doing the staccato, the bouncy thing. It makes another choice because it could have stayed like that. But when it gets to this bridge, watch this. Why did it decide to do that? Why did it decide to go there? And just so you know, you can go listen to it on your own. And just so you know, when it goes to the hook, it stays melodic. And then when it comes out of the hook, it goes right back to. It's brilliant. But that's such a great technique. You can do that with any song, dude. I just used the same technique, but I changed the tempo, I changed the time, but you still was able to recognize what it was. But it's just a choice. It's just a choice. Be more expressive, add to your bag, bro. I would advise we listen to more orchestral music for the sole purpose of expanding the technique in which we approach playing the songs we want. I ain't gonna lie. Let me know what you thought. Let me know your thoughts. Let's talk. Get in the comments. Let's talk to me. I talk back. You feel me? You got questions? You got a opinion? I don't care what it is. Opinions, whatever. And I take these same skills. I use them all the time in everything that I play, every time that I play. Every time. But either way, that's it, man. Bridgerton. It's an amazing show, and it's an amazing musical phenomenon. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video, man.